it's Kristin, and I'm going to do a get ready with me for you guys today. As you can tell by the title, I'm doing this to show you the Beauty Junkee brushes in action. A lot of you requested this back when I did my review on the Beauty Junkee brushes, which I will list below for you if you want to check those out. And yeah, it seems that you guys like, I don't do get ready with me's very often, and they are definitely just a here's how I do it, not a tutorial of any sort. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go ahead and do today. I hope that you enjoy this, and here we go. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Primer. I've not tried a ton of drugstore primers, but of the ones that I've tried, this one is definitely my favorite, and it's one of my favorite primers overall, actually. I've talked about it quite a bit here and there. Let's get that all over my face. I always do primer with my fingers. It's like one of the few things I do with my fingers. I don't know. Watch my face get all super red. Just my weird face. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, then I'm going to use the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous in the shade 110. I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. My preference really is, with this particular foundation, to use a beauty blender, but because I really want to show you guys these brushes, I'm going to use, this one is the Flat Top Kabuki, which is probably the only face brush that I will show you, because I don't use all of the Kabukis at one time. It's just kind of depending what I'm doing or what foundation I'm using, but it just blends so well. And I really feel like of all of the flat top Kabuki brushes that I have, I really feel like because this one isn't, you know, I think a lot of brush companies pride themselves on making like super dense brushes, and you know, some of them talk about like how many hairs they have in the brush, and while I think that is good sometimes, this is me just getting a little more coverage, I think that sometimes if you put too many brush hairs in your brush, it doesn't blend as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to use the concealer that I'm currently working through. I do not recommend this. This is the CoverGirl Depuffer, and I'm in the shade Fair Light. I used to really like this when I first got this. I even think it made a favorites video. I don't know if something has changed over time, because I have had it for a year. So I'll put that on my eyes, and then this is the Tarte. This is one of the few non-drugstore products I'm going to use. I just kind of dot this on my, none of these are like open, they're just marks on my face. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to let that sit there. This is a really thick concealer, so I let it kind of sit on my face while I do my under eyes, and then I'll go and blend it out. So I used to love the CoverGirl, and then I don't know what happened, quite frankly. It just changed. I just don't feel like I get the best coverage from it anymore. So I'm really trying to work through it. I think I'm about halfway through it. It's on my use it up list. If you maybe are just catching my channel, welcome. And I'll try to list it below. I do some use it up products. I don't do like a particular project pan, like a 4x fall or something like that. I just always have a list going of things I want to use up. Alright, then I'm just going to take my Milani Multitasker, which is a powder foundation, and a powder brush. I don't have a powder brush from, I don't think Beauty Junkies has like blush and powder brushes. And I'm just going to, I just add a little bit more coverage. I do this every day no matter what foundation I'm wearing, pretty much, unless I'm testing one for longevity. So I'm going to take the Wet n Wild contouring palette. It has a highlight and contour, and it's in Caramel Toffee. And I'm using the angled Kabuki brush into the contouring shade, and just, I'm not trying to chisel anything out here. Just trying to give it a little dimension. And again, because this brush isn't super dense, it's dense. It's dense, but it's not like, I really feel like the other one that I have like this from another company, it's just so dense I can't get any sort of blend on it. So there you go. And then for bronzer, I'm going to use this is Drugstore, but it's Canadian Drugstore, the Annabelle. It's called the Biggie bronzer, and mine is in, I think it's Haute Gold. Hot Gold, whichever, H-A-U-T-E. And I'm going to use my, again, I don't have any powder brushes from Beauty Junkee. I don't think they have any. I have a Luxe Radiance wand from It Cosmetics. If you guys can get Annabelle, this is a great bronzer. And some down the neck. I just heard somebody say, I can't remember who it was, that they feel like there's no melanin in their neck. And I was like, yes, I feel the same way. To bronze it all up all the time. And I'm going to grab my Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana. And this is a Sephora number 79. And just go underneath my under eyes. And I bring that up here a little bit. A little pre-highlight. Alright, for brows I'm going to use, this is, I think this would be considered drugstore now, so that's what I'm going to use. This is the Catrice Brow Pencil, and I've talked about this a million times, and now it's available at Ulta. And I can't remember when it is in my schedule, but I am going to do a video on the Catrice products that I have. I don't think they are all available at Ulta, but I have had a lot of requests for the Catrice video, so I am going to do that. Within the next couple weeks. I just can't remember when it's coming up. This is a really nice product, and it stays really well. It definitely has become, it was my favorite. It has become a second to the Anastasia Brow Wiz, only because I really feel the Anastasia Brow Wiz is a little more precise and just gives me a little more precise brow. But this one is still very, very good. And if you've been wanting to give it a shot, check out Ulta, because it's really exciting for those of us who have used and loved the Catrice products to have some of them available here. Again, I don't know that they all are, but I will go over everything that I have in that video. Alright, and the shade that I use in that is Date with Ashton. Get it? Ashton. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I already, I just primed my eyes with MAC primer and then MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I don't have any drugstore stuff like that currently. So I'm going to use my Sony Ketchup Eye Neutral Mattes palette, and I'm just going into this shade right here and just all over my lid. I do this every day with some sort of bone type colored with a fluffy brush, and this is the Beauty Junkee Pro Tapered Blending Brush. I think it just aids in blending. To just give yourself a nice clean base over the top of whatever sticky base you've put down, unless you're going to use a pigment or something. Alright, so the quad that I'm going to work with today is the one that came in my Allure beauty box that you guys just saw me haul on Sunday. Last Sunday. So I'm going to use this shade right here, which is kind of a, well, it's a taupe. I'm going to use that all over my lid. And the brush is the Beauty Junkee Pro Blender All Over Shading. By the way, in case I didn't say this in the beginning, while they did send me these brushes for review, and I already did the review on them, I'm doing this because so many of you guys wanted to see the brushes in use, because I mentioned it in that video. And I use them all the time anyway, so. But it's not sponsored. They did not pay me. Just got some nice brushes. Okay. I'm going to set this over here. I'm going to go back into my Sony Ketchup Eye Neutral and use this blending brush again. I think this really is my favorite brush of all of the brushes. I'm going to go into this shade right here and use that as my transition color. It's the coolest of the transition shades in there, I would say. Alright, so I'm going to grab the smaller of their blending brushes, and this is the Pro Crease. And, oops, I was just going to use a brown out of there. Forgot what I was doing here. And go into, You know what, I think I'm going to go into this shade. I was going to use this beneath my lower lash line, but I think I'm going to use it on the outer corner. And I'm going to switch out the brush I was going to use. So I'm going to use their Pro Blending brush, which you can see I stuck in the brown and then changed my mind. I'll just see how this... Did I even say this is the Revlon Romantic Quad? Ay, Kristin. So I'm just going here. I really feel like I should update my, like, sort of stamp method video, but... So I'm just kind of stamping and blending a little bit. And then wiping the brush off. So I don't want... And I'm just going to... Little baby circles. And pull it in. Like that. Alright, the other eye done. I'm going to go back into that. I really hope this isn't too bright. By the way, I'm going back into that transition color, my fluffy brush, and I'm going to go over. In case anybody's wondering, I always seem to get questions on this one. It's visible. This mirror is a Zadro mirror, Z-A-D-R-O. I will try to find it and link it if you're curious. It's a Christmas gift, actually. Alright, then beneath my lower lash line, I realize I'm not going to use all of the brushes that they have in their kit, but I can only use so many brushes in one eye look, you know what I'm saying? Okay, then I'm going to grab their Pro Pencil brush and into this shade right here. Tap that bad boy on. And just beneath my lower lash line. You could leave this empty too. I liked the shade. I liked this green shade. It was a little more pigmented than I expected it to be, and a little more pigmented than some of the Revlon quads I've used in the past, so that was kind of a nice surprise. And it blended fairly well. It took a little bit, you guys saw, it took a little bit to get it blended, but not too much. Then I wiped that off, and I'm going to go into this pink. Let's just see how pigmented that is. That's not too bad. I'm going to use just a little bit of that pink on my inner corner. Again, I'm wiping it off. I have a towel in my lap, and I do a lot of wiping things off and then blending with the same brush. Now, because I'm trying to stay with our brushes, I would use another brush similar to this, but I'm going to make sure this is wiped off really well, even though there's color on it. I swear to you there isn't. And I'm going to use this shade right here. So it's that kind of lightest, creamiest shade. And I'm going here, just to make sure I don't have, it's not coming down too far. If you have your color down too far, like here you can see it's down too far, it'll drag your eye down, depending on your eye shape. So I shouldn't say that as like a blanket statement, I suppose. But for me, that's what happens. And then I will also use it underneath my brow bone and blend in here a little bit. So you can kind of see. I just use it as an all over, like blended out eraser sort of shade. And this, I can tell already, this little, I'm gonna clean a little bit of this up. I feel like that the glitter particles in that pink kind of got a little out of control. So, you know, when all else fails, grab a Q-tip. One of the best tools on my vanity. I have a video on that somewhere, like unsung vanity heroes. I'm going to take their angled brush, which is the Precision Eyeliner, and a little Fix Plus, which I realize is not Drugstore. Doing my best here. And then I'm going to go back into the Romantic Eye and into this brown and use it wet on my upper lash line. I'm using that as a liner. So I would say that's a tad more subtle than I was looking for. So I'm going to do my other eye, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go over it with a darker brown. So I ended up just doing like another layer over the top of it. I didn't actually have to use the darker brown. Then I'm going to use my Pixi Black Cocoa, which I think I don't know. I've heard both that they've discontinued these and that they've not. And I'm just lining my upper waterline with this. I'm going to finish off the face now, so I'm going to use the Milani Blush in Tea Rose and put that on the apples of my cheeks. Like that. And you will see I tend to apply lots of blush and then blend it out. That is my preference. So now I'm going to grab my e.l.f. Kabuki brush so I don't look like a clown. And just really blend it in. I just feel like this, sometimes I'll put powder foundation on it when I do that. I just feel like it really makes it feel like it's more coming from your skin. And lastly, back to this palette here, the Wet n Wild contour palette, and into the lighter shade. Just go right there. It's not, this is not a shimmery, it's just a very subtle, bring some more lightness back there. And it seems to work well for me. And then, I've talked about this before, I learned this from Vanessa from the Bombshell Suite. So again, Reserve Your Cabana. And I just feel like it works better than that other Wet n Wild product. I just go down here, and I go along here, and I just make sure there are no crazy lines. Alright, so here is the finished look. I added mascara, which I don't have a drugstore one open, so it's the Armani Eyes to Kill, which is what I have open with the Estee Lauder little black primer over the top of it. And on my lips, I added the Revlon Color Stay Over Time in For Keeps Pink, which is a stain on one end and a gloss on the other end. First time I'm using it, so I don't know much about it at this point, but I will report back. So let me go ahead and zoom you in and let you see what the finished look looks like up a little bit closer. So there you go. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this and it was helpful for those of you who really wanted to see those Beauty Junkee brushes in action. They do, like I said, I still have that coupon code till the end of the year that gives you, I think it's $10 off a set or 25% off a single brush. If I remember it correctly, I will have it listed below. Again, that doesn't do anything for me. It only does something for you in giving you a better deal on some great brushes. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're having a great day and I will talk to you very soon.